Albacete 3, Real Madrid 2. What a disappointing performance that is, man. It doesn't matter if you're going to play academy players, if there's reserve players in the lineup. To lose against a second division side that is near the relegation zone it's absolutely unacceptable. With Arbeloa's first game, it's not a good way to start. And I know the Copa del Rey, they haven't been the best, but listen, they have won 3 titles in the last 32 years. 2011, 2014, and 2023. All right, that's insane. How is the record that bad, bro? But again, this is just showing like the players. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. I was trying to be optimistic about it. I was like, okay, maybe new manager, something will happen. I mean, come on, bro. Realistically, this is gonna take some work, and truthfully, this season it's gonna be very hard for them to pick up any momentum and to really win anything. Now they have La Liga and the Champions League left. I can't see them winning either of those competitions this season, unfortunately, which is just a shame considering less than 2 years ago in 2024 they were winners of both of them. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see what happens. All right, Real Madrid board, bro. These the guys ruining the club right now. Eduardo, Pedro. Oh my goodness, bro. Y'all got to lock in. You guys are Dude, I didn't even know who these people are, bro. Nah, that guy's gonna get zoomed in on. Perez takes credit for all the basketball cups too. What? Okay.
Florentino Perez was after Alonso for years, just to sack him in a few months. He's like a toddler who wants a new toy, then gets tired of it after a few days.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yep, that's accurate.
Alonso losing his job came out of nowhere.
Xabi Alonso has been sacked by Real Madrid.
Real Madrid have sacked
They didn't even give the dude a full season, bro. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso não é mais o técnico do Real Madrid.
Super sorpresiva. Probably was one of the most unexpected moments.
La verdad que sí, ha pillado
Even
por
Fabrizio
sorpresa.
saying
It can't
it.
be just for losing a Super Cup game. It can't be.
His authorities is minimum, is impossible to continue.
The timing, the silence around it, the speed of it all. Very few people inside the club saw it coming. The players didn't know, the staff didn't know, even people who worked at the training ground every single day found out the same way the fans did.
Oh my god, bro. It's like a never-ending nightmare right now talking about Real Madrid the past week.
Seeing the news on
Actually
their phone.
so ridiculous.
Reportedly, one senior figure literally discovered Alonso had been sacked while standing in a supermarket aisle. Imagine being in the frozen food aisle and suddenly you get a notification that your buddy from work was just let go. Alonso's time at the Bernabeu barely had a chance to breathe. He was only hired in May. By December, his position was already shaky. There was a short run of good results that seemed to calm things down. It bought him some time. But after that Super Cup final, the illusion disappeared. Real Madrid lost 3-2 to Barcelona in the Supercopa de España final. The game was close though. Madrid were far more competitive than they were in the year before, where they got bent over and spanked 5-2. In fact, had Carreras not forgotten how to shoot the ball, or Asensio put his header anywhere but the middle, Madrid could have easily won. After the final whistle in Jeddah, Alonso and his players walked up to collect their runners-up medal. And now one image feels very symbolic. Alonso and Florentino Perez briefly embraced on the podium. It was one of those rare moments that they were seen together in public. At the time, it looked normal. In hindsight, it looks like Perez had already made up his mind. Perez is Real Madrid. He always has been. He makes the decisions. He holds the power. And what happened next made it painfully clear just how little power Alonso really had. As the Barcelona players prepared to collect their trophy, he waved his arms and called his players over, asking them to form a guard of honor for the champions. Now, some people have come out and said that Mbappe was actually telling Alonso and the rest of the team that they have to move to a different side because of the pictures being taken, and it had nothing to do with the guard of honor. But the details don't really matter. Just look at their body language. Alonso turned away, assuming the players will follow him, but they didn't. Mbappe, standing nearby, gestured for the players to go the opposite direction. The moment Alonso realized what was happening and that he had no control over it, he stopped. He sighed. He accepted the situation, and it was written all over his body language. So no matter the details of their conversation, no matter what it was about, this is a clip showing a star player publicly undermining the manager. This wasn't a one-off moment. As reports continued to come out, it was very clear that there was tension in the locker room from the moment Alonso stepped in. When you look at the details of some of the reports I'm about to show you, it just makes the Madrid players look so bad. When Alonso arrived in June, he walked into a dressing room that had been shaped by 4 years of Eyebrow Man. And to him, the way things were being done was not how you do things at a club that wants to be serious. Sources close to Alonso's staff described it as many bad habits taking hold over time. From the start, Alonso made one thing very clear to the players. Everyone would have to work harder when the other team had the ball. And without that effort, no one, no matter their name, would be guaranteed a place in the team. His first matches in charge came at the Club World Cup. And the tournament, it started off well, but ended badly for Madrid, with a 4-0 loss to PSG. After that, the squad went on a break. They didn't return until August 4th, when preseason began, and when the group came back together, there was an important meeting right away. Alonso and his staff sat the players down and told them they wanted intensity, they wanted standards. That's what the club told them they wanted too. They wanted to move away from the just play and vibes that they experienced under Carlo Ancelotti's second tenure. But some of Madrid's senior players weren't buying it. Multiple sources close to the first team players told The Athletic that frustration had spread inside the dressing room. And it wasn't just one or two guys. They didn't like the extra tactical meetings, they didn't like the heavier training, they didn't like being told how to behave, where to be, and when to be there. From the outside, everything looked fine, but on the inside, tensions were boiling. According to The Athletic, players like Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Arda Güler, Ceballos, and Asensio really believed in the coach. But Vini, Jude, and Valverde were not fans of Alonso. Think about that for a second. All Xabi wanted was for these guys to show up to training on time, train with intensity, and pay close attention to the details of tactical analysis. That's it. And yet some of these players found these basic requirements too much. Now, Jude came out and said on his own app, yes, today you learned that Jude Bellingham has his own app, that these reports are false, and that he never had any issues with Alonso. Vinny, though, absolutely did have problems, and he never hid them. Funny enough, the situation between him and Alonso really boiled over during Madrid's best run of the season. You see, in late October and early November of 2025, Madrid had won 13 of their first 14 games. They had even beaten Barcelona at the Bernabeu. They were 5 points clear at the top of La Liga, and the results were excellent. But the cracks were widening. In the 72nd minute of El Clasico, with Madrid leading, Vini was subbed.
Ridiculous.
The Brazilian was very upset about this, and as he left the pitch and went straight into the tunnel, he was shouting, "Always me. I'm leaving the team. It's better if I leave. I'm leaving." The relationship between Xabi and Vini had never been smooth. Reportedly, back in July, Xabi had planned to bench Vini in Madrid's Club World Cup semi-final against PSG, but then Trent got a muscle injury and Alonso changed his plan. Instead, he played Vini on the right wing, not his usual left side. It didn't go well. As I stated earlier, Madrid lost 4-0. Vini was ineffective and he hated the situation. Since that moment,
I don't understand, bro. Like, this is just so different from like how players used to be. Like, here's the thing. I remember Ronaldo when he first came to Madrid. There's an interview out there somewhere that would talk about like how he was asking what position Ronaldo preferred on the pitch when he played, and he said on the left and the right through the middle, it doesn't matter. He just wants to play, and it's like I don't see that anymore, bro. Just players aren't willing to adapt to new roles for the good of the team. Like, come on, you're on the pitch. That should be all that matters, right? Being on the pitch should matter more than whatever position you're playing, even if it's not your best position. Like, if you're a truly great player, you'll be able to adapt to multiple different roles, and that's the thing that like Ronaldo and Messi, they were so good at. You know, they could play anywhere amongst the attacking line. Ronaldo could play through the left, through the right, and through the middle through his whole career. I think nowadays, like, players want to prefer to have one position and stick to it. I mean, at least at Real Madrid, it seems like that. You know, Mbappe is playing out of position. Striker, even though he's playing really well, I think he ultimately wanted to play left wing. I think Rodrigo loves to play on the left, but he's plays on the right because of Vinny, because Vinny is a left winger only, and Vinny is maybe not as adaptive on the other positions, but I just think nowadays, or not even nowadays, just in general, you should be able to play at least multiple positions at the top level. If you're a top class player, if you're a top attacking player, as long as you're playing right, you should try and like be as effective as you can anywhere on the pitch as long as it works. If you sacrifice your individual success for the team, I think that's ultimately what they're missing, and it's just playing for the team, man. Like you're playing for Real Madrid, like biggest club in the history of the game. I think if you really cared about the club, I don't think it would matter what position you're playing, right? You would ultimately put the work in to get results and to help your team win titles, because ultimately that's the goal, right? That's the main goal. It's a little different now, but just hope they get back to that. But it is hard. It's hard right now to think where the hell they're gonna go from here.
Vinny never felt comfortable with Xabi. The Athletic said that people close to Vinny were already predicting in early August that it was not going to be an easy season. And they were right. At one point, Vinny only finished 3 of the 10 matches he started, and there were multiple matches where he didn't even start. Reportedly, the people close to Vinny were furious with Xabi Alonso. They couldn't understand why Alonso would take him off, especially when he was making a big impact. Because another similar situation...
I will say too, I don't think subbing him off in games that he's playing really well in have helped. Like, especially both the games against Barca, he played phenomenally. So yeah, I could get why he was upset with being subbed off, but those 2 games are the only exceptions. I think most of the season he hasn't been at his best level. So at that point, it's like, yeah, you might, like, maybe Xabi wanted to try something else out and he got kind of ridiculed for it. But you see a lot of people not liking the way Vinny has been performing lately, especially in the Copa del Rey game too, as a time of filming this. It's a little frustrating because we know how good Vinny is on his best day. It's just my thing with Real Madrid. My thing is that there's no real leadership. I don't see leadership at the club like how there used to be, even just a few years ago. Players like Modric, Cruz, Nacho, and then even a few years ago back, Benzema, Casemiro, like people from the team that won the 3 Champions Leagues in a row. That era, they still had those players in the team that would help the young players, at least mentally, stay focused and stay in the game. That's why they were so good at comebacks, right? They were able to come back in every single game. When they were down in the Champions League, the mentality kept them focused. And yeah, that leadership is not there. And right now, Madrid cannot play under adversity at all. If they're down in a game, almost guarantee that they're not going to come back. It's just, you need to have that leadership on the pitch, and it's not there. It's not there. I don't see a leader on that pitch. And in terms of outside the pitch, a manager, I don't know. No manager is going to be able to help right now in this situation. It comes down to the players. Seriously, it comes down to the players. And I don't know where to go. I don't know. It might be a worse season than 2019. It might be a worse season than 2019. We will see what happens, but it's obviously not looking good. But I'm going to stay optimistic because any of these players on their day are some of the top players in the world. We already know this. Mbappe, Vinny, Bellingham. They are exceptional players. But the mentality and the sake of playing for the team and battling through adversity is something that needs to be added right now, So, yeah. Let's finish this video.
Happened in the match against Espanyol. Vinny was subbed off during a cooling break in the 77th minute with Madrid up 2-0. Alonso tried to explain it and calm him down, but Vinny was visibly annoyed.
Soy el jugador, yo también, pues cuando me sustituían, pues a veces tampoco este es el momento más bonito, o sea que lo llevo con normalidad, con mucha naturalidad.
In the days after...
Do you have $100? Because I'm looking for 2,000 believers who are willing to trade
After the first El Clasico, Vinny met with Perez. He apologized for his behavior, but he also made something very clear. He didn't want to extend his contract while his relationship with Alonso remained broken. His deal ran until 2027, and renewal talks stopped that day.
That has now sparked rumours that he has told Real Madrid, hey, I am not saying anything about a new contract as long as Alonso's here.
Yeah, well, that situation's been stalled.
Vinny ended up apologizing about the situation at the training ground in front of his teammates and staff. But when he posted his apology online, he didn't mention Alonso by name. And that wasn't an accident. Sources close to Vinny confirmed it was deliberate. When Xabi Alonso ended up being sacked, many Madrid players posted messages of support for him. Vinny didn't. Bellingham did, despite having previously been named among those unconvinced by Alonso's ideas. And it's important to note that Madrid never fined or punished Vinny in any way for his outburst. And it was in that moment that Xabi realized he was losing the dressing room. To outsiders, the whole situation made little sense. Madrid had hired one of the most respected young coaches in Europe. They had told him to modernize the team. They had backed his ideas with signings. And then they sacked him 8 months later.
Barely
when Alonso
any signings.
arrived in May, he came with the full permission to tighten things up. He believed the dressing room had developed bad habits, that they had too much freedom, too little accountability. So training sessions became more intense. The tactical work increased. Video analysis became more detailed. Access to dressing room and training sessions was restricted to prevent leaks. The goal was to keep the circle small and just protect the group. Nothing crazy. Just keep everybody close so that there's no more leaks.
Yeah, I don't see a
Yet the
problem with
reaction
that.
was not what Alonso expected. By October, the dissatisfaction was growing behind the scenes. Some players felt restricted. They felt Alonso's system didn't allow them to express themselves the way they had under Ancelotti. For a period of time, the results were saving Xabi. On November 1st, Madrid beat Valencia 4-0. That was their 13th win in 14 matches, and they were flying. Then, everything collapsed. Over the next 7 games, Madrid won just twice. They lost to Liverpool in the Champions League, they lost to Celta Vigo in La Liga. They dropped points against Rayo Vallecano, Elche, and Girona.
Yeah,
Victories
that run of
against
form was
Olympiacos
terrible,
and Athletic Club helped, but even those games caused problems. Reportedly, around the Olympiacos match, Alonso made concessions. He did less video analysis, fewer demands. He went for a softer approach, basically going back to Ancelotti style. Players like Mbappe and Camavinga defended him publicly. Valverde did too, but inside the club, opinions were split. Some believed the morale had improved. Others thought the problems ran way deeper. Another big moment came in Bilbao. Some players complained about traveling the day before the match. Alonso promised them 2 days off if they won. They did. They absolutely slapped Athletic Club 3-0. But then came the disastrous 2-0 home loss to Celta Vigo. The Bernabeu booed the team, and Alonso's decision-making was questioned. At that point, Madrid's leadership began a serious discussion about replacing him. Arbeloa emerged as the leading option. Zidane's name was mentioned,
By the way, speaking to Arbeloa, bro,
but more as a dream scenario. Arbeloa,
he should not be blamed for any of this. He's come into a very hard situation, very difficult situation right now. I think it'll just be difficult to navigate it with this dressing room. So hopefully he does the best he can, but that Copa del Rey result is not a good start. But again, the players are the ones that put that performance out, so yeah.
Emerged as the leading option. Zidane's name was mentioned, but more as a dream scenario than a concrete plan. It's pretty much an open secret that Zidane is waiting to take over the French national team job. By December of 2025, the truth became impossible to ignore. Managing Madrid stars was breaking Xabi Alonso. One source told The Athletic, the problem is not Xabi. Mbappe, Vinny, and Bellingham just don't fit together. Fans seem to sense this too. The Bernabeu was whistling the players, not the coach. Still, the results kept Alonso alive.
That's
but
fair.
after the El Clasico defeat in the Supercopa final, Perez decided time was up. For Madrid,
Yeah, which, come on, that wasn't even a bad result. That was not even a terrible result. Bro, I'm getting so tired. I'm actually getting so sick of this. Dude, hopefully, I don't know. I'm kind of, just gonna go by and see, but I'm making so many videos and reacting to so much stuff about it. It's getting a lot, bro. It is getting a lot. I'm just getting sick of this, honestly, though.
As leadership, changing the coach was simply the easiest solution. In these situations, the manager is never gonna win. It's a lot easier and cheaper to get rid of one coach than it is to get rid of multiple stars. I will say it is a bit strange to notice that Mbappe has had 10 different managers in 9 seasons.
I wish and I hope Mbappe can find the manager that helps him play at the top level, because all these top players, like Ronaldo had a great relationship with Sir Alex Ferguson, with Zidane. Messi had that with Guardiola, with Enrique. Bro, you see top players synonymously associated with top managers, but you don't see that with Mbappe, at least at the club level. I just hope that changes. Because come on, man, at his best, he's literally one of the best players. He will go down as like a top 10 player of all time if his club career, at least, if he just needs a few titles, and he will be in that discussion. He's already done everything internationally besides like a Euros. He just needs to win the Champions League and obviously get some trophies with Real Madrid, which, listen, if it might be like not this season, maybe next season. But like, come on, man. He's and a Ballon d'Or as well.
Now, according to many of
Come
these
on,
reports,
man. I know Mbappe
had
could do
no
it.
issues with Xabi, and besides the footage from the Super Cup final, they got along really well. In fact, Mbappe was having a great individual season. But this
He's having the best season of his career, bro. He's having an amazing season statistically. But what people are saying is that his output is hurting the team, apparently. Apparently, this is what people say. Because of his like link up style. I don't know, bro. I see how, like, I guess at the club level it seems like that way, but for the national team level where he's the captain, he's very good there. I think Mbappe would be a good captain. I think he's just gotta realize that at this club, it's just the expectations to deliver are never going to stop. I mean, he already knows this. He's gotten this expectation from before he even signed to be the guy to replace Ronaldo long term and to put up all these numbers. I'd say it's just weird because, you know, players like Vinicius and Bellingham had already delivered for this club at the highest level. And it seems like that just gets ignored from Mbappe joining and him being the main guy, but he's obviously a better player than those two. It's just to work as a team, you can't have everyone being in the same role. People have to be in different roles. Back in 2022, you had Benzema as the main guy. Vinicius was the second guy in the attack, and look how good they were as a duo. In 2024, I think it was equally balanced between Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Bellingham in the attack. You had Kroos and Modric behind them in midfield. Valverde, you know, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, but like they're all still here. Like, I would love to see Mbappe become like a leader that helps the team and doesn't fall under adversity, because that's what it will take at this point in his career now. I think the numbers are always going to stay there, but now in terms of mentality and leadership is a big thing when it comes to being an all-time great, right? He could deliver for France, but at the club level, can he do it too? That's a question that people are going to have for him in the next few years moving forward, especially if Real Madrid end up going in like a different direction where players do leave.
Seems to constantly be around chaos. Is it a coincidence that as soon as he leaves PSG, they reach heights that they never got to when he was still there? Madrid announced the departure as a mutual agreement,
true.
but those close to Alonso strongly disagree. This was a sacking, clear and simple. Reportedly, Alonso told the club directly that their decision to sack him was wrong and unfair. He told them that they were sacking him because of player power. Many agreed with Xabi, like Klopp, who came out and said that to sign there are issues.
Yeah, Klopp, that's a whole nother saga, bro.
At Real Madrid, when a manager who was excellent for 2 years is asked to leave just 6 months later. Even Khabib backed Xabi.
Bro, Khabib has ball knowledge too, by the way. Khabib has been watching this team for a very long time. He's been a fan since like the 90s. I think he knows. Khabib has ball knowledge. I don't think a manager is going to help right now. It's player mentality, and different players might need to come in, yeah.
In a polite way, he called the Madrid players spoiled brats by stating that if a team can't succeed with Xabi Alonso, then the players should have been changed, not the coach. Though there are some people that criticize Xabi's tactics, and those people are right. He didn't always make the best decisions, especially when it came to subs and rotating players. His team didn't always play the best football.
Like Endrick, for example. I'd like to have seen him stay.
Agree that Xabi Alonso came out as the winner in this sacking. This is a guy who almost won a trouble with
Xabi is
Leverkusen
gonna
of all teams,
do
and
well.
almost did it
He'll
with-
do well. He's a great manager. He's a good manager. I think it's just at Real Madrid, it's just a really unique situation that, again, it's a whole player thing. But I think if they're saying he might go to Liverpool after Slot, I think he'll do very well there.
without
Very
losing
well.
a single game. His systems work when the players buy in. But I
Yep.
guess it shouldn't really come as a surprise. His ideas and what the club actually wanted never really matched. Alonso was about structure, discipline, and building a foundation, while the club stuck to short-term thinking and star power. He was basically given an impossible mission to change the culture at a place where people don't want to see change. He was never given the environment he needed to make his project work. He'll probably go somewhere that backs him properly and do well. And this will be another case of Madrid losing someone they didn't fully value. When you saw him on the sidelines, he agonized over each and every play. When Madrid scored, he would celebrate like he had won a trophy. And when they conceded, he looked like he wanted to melt into the ground. It was all written on his face and emotions. He was passionate and really wanted this to work. But the players clearly didn't.
I don't
And it's a
understand
shame,
though.
because
I don't
seems
get
like
it.
Real Madrid need a babysitter, not a manager. And now the endless Real Madrid cycle begins again. Hire a tactico, the players don't like him, they get bad results, and the tactico's fired. So then they hire a good vibes coach that makes the players happy,
God.
they win some trophies, but then the players get complacent by having too much happiness, the good vibes coach is fired, and they hire a tactico. Arbeloa has now taken charge of the first team. He's trusted, he's loyal, and he fits the Madrid hierarchy perfectly. He's a great yes man. Alonso and Arbeloa are close friends. Their families are close too. Arbeloa said Alonso wished them well, and he insisted that their friendship remains intact. But it shows you once again the one constant truth about Real Madrid. No matter who you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how modern your ideas are, Perez always has the final say, and he told Xabi Alonso goodbye. Now the main guy who really wanted Alonso out was Vinny. To see how Vinny went from being a Ballon d'Or contender to an inconsistent winger,
What
you
the hell
have
is
to
this
watch
video
documentary on his journey.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing, bro. Really is. Barcelona are running circles through them. They are running circles through them, bro. They are running circles through them right now, and they were struggling at the beginning of the season too. Like, let's look at the stats here, man. 75% possession, 18 shots. Wow. Vinny apparently didn't play well today. He was starting. I don't understand. We need the club back. We need Real Madrid back, bro. We'll see the next few games. But yeah. To those of you who are saying, I was doing a live. I was doing a TikTok live about like a few hours after the game. People were saying, I don't know. I guess people don't know. It feels weird to see Real Madrid under adversity after like the year they had in 2024, but best believe, guys, this is probably going to be a back and forth thing for a while. It's just hard at a club with this big of expectations, and when players get comfortable, it's not easy, but I don't think this is going to be a thing forever. It will take a while, but you know, Real Madrid has those expectations. They will eventually deliver, right? Especially in this new era. They've won every title. It's just, you know, people are impatient. People are not people have high expectations, which is definitely something to be fair. Like, it's fair. Real Madrid have these expectations because of what they won in their history and recent history as well. You know, Champions League aside, La Liga's aside, like, you know, they're supposed to be the top team in Spain alongside Barcelona. So you expect them to be there every year, at least winning something. You know, you can't have Barcelona winning everything over you. But in this case, they're not even going to have to face Barcelona. They're already eliminated. So there's a difference between this season and last season already. But I think this season is done in terms of contending for any titles. As soon as Xabi got let go, that was pretty much what they were saying. And I don't think anything is going to change. I don't think they're going to win anything. But I'd love for them to prove me wrong. And I hope they do, because I want to see my club win some damn games, bro. So, yeah.